Right now, on to the point. The fight over healthcare subsidies hits a dead end.
The motion is not agreed to.
With no plan moving forward.
If there was a will, I'm sure we could find a way. We're just not there yet.
What's at stake and how many people could be paying more? In the race for California's governor,
I'm running on my own ideas and my own proposals.
The latest candidate throwing his hat in the ring. And as a school district is forced to change its sports league,
I am urging the state of California to reverse this outrageous action.
What they want done about gender eligibility rules. In our Champions of Hope, the family serving up famous burgers and a lasting legacy. Tonight, healthcare costs are in limbo after the Senate today rejected dueling healthcare bills. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alex Bell. We have that story coming up shortly, but first, some breaking news. President Trump just signed an executive order to ban states from regulating artificial intelligence. The order aims to create a, quote, single national framework for AI. He argues that heavy regulations could stifle the industry, especially given competition from China. It also blocks states from enforcing their own regulations around it, which a White House aide said could cripple the industry. California has a first-in-the-nation AI law going into effect in January that orders some of the largest tech companies to provide safety protocols for the public for their most advanced AI models. Governor Newsom, of course, is fighting back against this order, saying it would hurt California, the public, and vulnerable populations like children and older adults. So in a statement, he says in part, quote, California is working on behalf of Americans by building the strongest innovation economy in the nation while implementing common sense safeguards and leading the way forward. Now to those dueling healthcare votes that were voted down today. The rejection of those bills means that millions of Americans are at risk of skyrocketing healthcare costs. Today's Democratic proposal looked to extend the subsidies by 3 years. Hanging in the balance are Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies set to expire at the end of the year.
This kind of extension of healthcare subsidies is a very simple, straightforward, non-costly, politically imperative thing to do.
Senate Republican leadership argue a straight extension isn't the right fix.
You can't fix this program. I mean, you can't just do a blanket extension without reforms. It is rife with waste, fraud, and abuse.
The Republican plan, which also failed today, proposed to expand health savings accounts for consumers to help pay for some ACA plans. It does not extend ACA subsidies. California lawmakers are reacting tonight.
It's because Republicans in Congress have refused to get serious about health care. It's an unserious proposal, and it puts lives at risk.
Covered California, the state's insurance marketplace under the ACA warns fewer tax credits means higher premiums, with premiums expected to rise an average of 97%. Meanwhile, the House is considering its own path forward.
I've been working with a bipartisan group of lawmakers to actually find a compromise solution that will stave off the worst outcomes here.
Members of the House are also signing discharge petitions, which would force a House vote on ACA subsidy extensions. Now to the race for California governor. A new name just joined the growing list. John Slavitt is a Bay Area Republican, longtime CEO, entrepreneur, and a father of 5. And yes, a podcast host who's even interviewed 2 of his now opponents. He says California's challenges are man-made, built on a year of bad policy, and believes his experience makes him the one who can help turn the state around. What would you say specifically sets you apart from your opponents? Why should people really trust you?
I'm running on my own ideas and my own proposals, my own energy.
What do you mean your own ideas?
I'm not running to serve a party, I'm running to serve regular people. So my observation of California politics the last generation is that everything's been set up to serve a set of interests. The government's been hijacked by special interests and policies that don't serve regular people. If you look at the scorecard for Newsom and look at the scorecard for the supermajority Democrats, California is losing on every metric. First in poverty, first in homelessness, first in unaffordability, first in high energy costs. The record is horrible. And in the private sector, if that were the record of an organization, you would change leadership immediately.
If you were to be elected, what would be your top 3 priorities your first year in office?
But I think number 1 is tackling affordability. Affordability is housing, It's getting more housing built, increasing supply to bring prices down. And then I think it's addressing issues that unite us all, like homelessness.
There are going to be some people inevitably who are going to come out and say, okay, here's another businessman that's just jumping into politics. But, you know, they're going to wonder, does your background really prepare you for a political side? You know, navigating policy, connecting with constituents. What would you say to people who may initially just brush off your candidacy for those reasons?
The most recent Emerson poll, 31% undecided. You've got a long list of Democrats and a couple of Republicans out there, and it's clear that Republicans, Democrats and independents, are open to something different. People want something different, and I'm offering a totally fresh perspective. Yes, I'm coming as a Republican. I'm a conservative, but I believe that that the next leader of California needs to also be a bridge builder. And there's so many issues that we can agree on, Republicans, Democrats, and independents. I believe I'll be a unifier in that way.
John makes the third Republican candidate to jump into the race. According to the latest Emerson poll, Chad Bianco, a Republican sheriff out of Riverside County, is leading with 13%, and newly announced Democratic candidate Eric Swalwell is close behind at 12%. However, a large majority, 31%, say that they are undecided. We know it is still a wide open field with a lot of time ahead of that primary. All right, now to the redistricting battle happening in states across the country. Today, Republican senators in Indiana rejected a new congressional map created to give the GOP an advantage in the upcoming 2026 election. 21 senators from the Republican supermajority and the chamber's 10 Democrats voted against the maps despite months of pressure by President Donald Trump for a rare mid-cycling redistricting. 6 other states are moving forward in the redistricting battle. Those are the states in green that you see right there. Texas recently won a Supreme Court challenge allowing the state to move forward with its redrawn congressional map. Missouri is also set to enact a new map despite more than 300,000 signatures to repeal its gerrymandered map. A big shakeup in a Northern California high school sports. Why seasons could turn upside down and leave students traveling farther to play.
We've been in a cold and gray weather pattern, and I've got more cold and gray days ahead. However, I'm also tracking increasing rain chances. We'll talk about that in the forecast after the break.
But first, another headlines tonight. A gas explosion in the Bay Area sent 6 people to the hospital. The explosion started at a major fire in the city of Hayward. 1 home was destroyed. A spokesperson for PG&E said construction workers damaged an underground gas line early this morning. A grand jury today declined for a second time to re-indict New York Attorney General Letitia James. President Trump wanted her prosecuted for mortgage fraud. It's another major blow to the Department of Justice after the dismissal of earlier charges against James and former FBI Director James Comey.
The situation is extremely serious. The next few days are going to be very critical.
And potentially historic flooding is forcing tens of thousands of people to evacuate in Washington state. An atmospheric river is causing heavy rainfall, flooding, and mudslides. The governor says he declared a state of emergency since some rivers could reach historic levels. All right, let's take a look at your forecast with meteorologist Brendan Minchev. Brendan, no surprise in the forecast. It's still going to be pretty chilly, right?
Still chilly, still cold, still gray, still with the Thule fog. And that's going to be the immediate pattern for the next several days. But like I said before the commercial break, I am tracking some rain chances coming back to Northern California before too long. Today, 46 in Sacramento, 44 in Marysville, 44 Stockton and Modesto, 68 up in Placerville, 63 in Truckee. This forecast and what we saw today feels almost identical to what we've had the last several days, and that's because it is. Much of December has been like this, where we're 10 to 15 degrees below normal in the valley and about 10 degrees or more above normal in the high country. Still 44 right now in Sacramento, 42 in Stockton, 43 in Modesto, 32 up in Truckee. Wide range of temperatures at the moment. If you're in the valley, it's cold. If you're up in the high country, it was warm this afternoon, but it will be cold on Friday morning with clearing. Temperatures will get down to about 20 degrees up near Tahoe. Across the valley, we're going to be in those upper 30s and low 40s. So once again, cold with some patchy fog. The Thule fog with the low clouds is sticking around through Friday. 46 in Sacramento, 45 in Stockton, 45 in Modesto. Again, just repeating what we've had much of this month. 72 in Nevada City, though. 66 Placerville, 64 in Angels Camp, 66 in Sonora. Plenty of sunshine. As soon as you get above that Thule fog, it's gray, and it is way above normal for this time of the year. This pattern's likely to hold through the weekend. High pressure going to stay overhead through about Sunday. But by the time we get to Monday, Tuesday, things are going to change a little bit. The next high pressure system is actually going to come in a little further south than the current system, and that's going to allow for some moisture out across the Pacific to ride up and over the ridge and into Northern California. So there's a few chances of rain next week. The first one is coming in Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'm going to be honest, it doesn't look like a lot of rain and certainly not much snow. It's going to be a warmer storm, some tropical air with it. Yes, some rain, a few tenths of an inch of rain, but I am going to be looking for some better rain chances towards the end of next week. So over the next 7 days, estimated rainfall totals, 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. Again, not a lot of rain, at least initially, with the first opportunity. But the next opportunity with some rain chances towards the end of next week and next weekend, and again, not this coming weekend, the one after, that actually looks like it could be a colder storm with better rain chances and much better snow chances, Alex.
All right, Brendan, thank you. Coming up next, Tahoe Truckee High School sports are flipping leagues, bringing challenges and possible chaos for student athletes. And then our champions of hope, West Sacramento knows them for their burger and peach shakes. But at Whitey's Jolly Cone, it's more than food. New tonight, Anheuser-Busch is planning to shut down its Fairfield plant in early 2026. According to the company, both the Fairfield Budweiser plant and the plant in New Hampshire are set to close. The move impacts 475 full-time employees. According to Anheuser-Busch, the employees will be offered full-time roles elsewhere in their operations. Those who don't accept the transfer offer will get severance packages. We will have more on this story coming up on Late News tonight at 11. A major upset is coming for many high school athletes in one local school district. The state has ordered the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District to switch their athletic program to the CIF. That's the California Interscholastic Federation, which governs high school sports in the state. Those schools currently compete in Nevada. ABC 10's Becca Habegger joins us live in studio to break down the details.
Yeah, Alex, the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District is currently part of the Nevada Interscholastic Activities Association because of its proximity to the neighboring state. But now the district's two regular high schools athletic programs face what the district calls, quote, significant logistical challenges in a new mandated switch to playing here in California.
Earlier this year, President Trump issued an executive order requiring all student athletes to play on sports teams that correspond with their sex assigned at birth. But California law requires schools to allow student athletes to play on the team consistent with their gender identity. Tahoe Truckee USD's two regular high schools are part of the Nevada Interscholastic Activities Association. Back in April, the NIAA revised their student eligibility to only consider a student's sex assigned at birth, putting those two California high schools out of compliance with California law.
Nobody in this community agrees with this decision. I support your position.
In a heated school board meeting back in May, community members voiced their opinion on the notion that Tahoe Truckee's two high schools would have to switch to the CIF as a result.
The district is making the right decision.
Now, the district has no decision. Last week, the California Department of Education announced it is ordering Tahoe Truckee to join CIF's Sac Joaquin section starting next school year. In the wake of a formal complaint filed against the district alerted parents this week. Critics, including Congressman Kevin Kiley, say this will have a major impact on student athletes. Chief among concerns, soccer and boys tennis. In the NIAA, those seasons run late summer through the fall. In CIF,
These are winter sports in California, but they're quite hard to play in the winter in this part of the state because there's a lot of snow.
ABC 10 reached out to the California Department of Education, which affirmed state law. ABC 10 also reached out to Tahoe Truckee trustees, who said in a joint statement they appealed the state's order and requested an extension of the timeline. The Department of Education denied both requests. The district is now legally required to follow this order. We know this is not just a scheduling change, it's a huge shift that affects our traditions and our kids' experience. We know the move raises complicated questions about winter travel over Donner Summit and sports like soccer and boys tennis moving seasons. The board and the district are committed to transparency and will continue collaborating with CIF Sac Joaquin section leadership, who are supportive partners to find the best possible pathway.
The district superintendent will provide an informational overview of the situation at the upcoming board meeting. That's next Wednesday. Alex.
Becca, thank you. Still ahead, our champions of hope, a family keeping tradition alive while also serving up some delicious burgers and the milkshakes you see right there. They are known in West Sacramento for their burgers and their peach shakes. And our Champions of Hope, we're highlighting people in the community making a difference and inspiring change. So tonight we take you to Whitey's Jolly Cone, a small burger stand, a proud family, and a legacy that continues to grow.
He wanted to get to know everyone that walked up to the window, and he did.
In 1963, Emile Beauclair bought this drive-in burger stand he helped build and named it Whitey's Jolly Cone.
His nickname was Whitey because as a child he had really white blonde hair.
This Americana-style burger stand prides itself on the traditional menu items they've had for over 60 years. Their burgers,
which are made fresh for us every day,
to their hot dogs.
Any ranch or ketchup?
Shakes.
Medium banana chocolate.
And Mexican food all keep customers coming back.
We'll call your name. Thank you.
To this day, Paula and Steve Erickson say family recipes are still being served. Paula and Steve were second-generation owners of Whitey's. After years of running the place together, Paula's father, Emile, eventually needed to retire.
And I did ask him, you know, when he was sick one time, I said, wow, you gotta cut that one. I says, what do you want me to do? I don't get like this. I know I don't get like this. I says, what do you want me to do? And he says, just keep it going. And I said, okay.
And that's exactly what they did. As the Ericksons family grew, so did Whitey's Jolly Cone.
Ordered for Christina in. Thank you.
I love to see the people in the community, the generations that were coming in here for their first ice cream cone, and now they have grandkids coming in. And that's really important. And that's what Whitey was all about.
Eventually, it was time for Paula and Steve to retire. Their kids were grown, pursuing their own careers, and they considered selling Whitey's until...
And they said, wait, we want to do this. Okay.
What did that feel like?
Like I was going to be working for the rest of my life.
And it's not that case at all because they took over.
I remember, you know, being there on days when he would prep peaches for peach milkshakes.
Preserving their grandfather's legacy.
It's true is that there's a certain level of fulfillment and appreciation for what came before you. You know, don't get me wrong, it is my favorite hamburger. But you can get a hamburger a lot of places. And you can't come to a place and feel the way that you do or learn the things that you might, you know, from our grandpa's story. So as our parents have continued to foster that, I hope that's what we can do.
When it comes to the menu at Whitey's Jolly Cone, Kevin and Jennifer have stayed true to their grandfather's burgers and famous peach shakes. And now they're growing something new, just like the city of West Sacramento. Serving up a new family business in Heritage Oaks Park. Emile's Cafe sits on the same street as Emile Whitey Beauclair Park, a park the city dedicated to their grandfather.
Emile's is, it's a tribute to my grandpa, but the more and more time I spend there, I think it's also a tribute to those other families. The Palmadesis, who ran the Pheasant Club for many generations. You know, the other even small mom and pop businesses outside of food that really are the old guard of West Sac.
No matter which place you grab a bite to eat, there's one thing their family wants every customer to feel.
It's not just a good burger, it's, you know, it's a hi, hello, like, how is your family doing? You know, we call them by name. It's something that, you know, we've stuck with.
One burger stand, 3 generations, and a legacy still being written.
This is, in a lot of ways, our second home, you know? We were born and raised here. And so when I watch my niece come in and, you know, put an apron on and work at the window, I think, you know, whose story is this going to be next?
An incredible family. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And Whitey's was also featured in our recent news special that focused solely on West Sacramento's growth. We look at housing, traffic, public safety, and so much more. You can actually stream that special right now on our free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. Now, tomorrow on To The Point, Bartell's Back Road takes us to a family-run poinsettia farm out in Stanislaus County. It is the largest in the country. You definitely don't want to miss this story. It is pretty incredible. As always, thank you you so much for watching, for always inviting us into your home. And if you have something that you think me and the team should be looking into, or you just have a question, you can always reach out to us at tothepoint@abc10.com. And don't forget, if you do want to catch up on our special or any stories that you missed, you can always download our free app. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a great night.